My name is Sasha. Today is June 26th, 2021. I just took and passed the ACE Certified Personal Trainer exam yesterday, Friday, June 25th, 2021. So I wanted to make this video to help anybody else who's considering taking this exam or is in the middle of studying for this exam this year. I did research some videos and everything was made a couple of years ago. Things have changed for ACE and the studying and the textbook. So I thought this might help, right? So I am a Pilates instructor, and you can see some reformers are behind me and whatnot. So the body is not unfamiliar to me. Like I know the body fairly well. And I've taught yoga, I've taught gyrotonic, I teach bar, I teach different Les Mills formats. So believe me when I say I am familiar with the body, and I love the body. I love anatomy, I love mechanics, which is probably one of the reasons that I felt like, I can actually help more people, get more people moving, get more people healthy as a certified personal trainer. I decided to do ACE because I thought, I'm not trying to make personal training my career. It is definitely something I want to add into my toolbox and combine teaching Pilates and personal training to get people just more fit and more aligned, so they have more knowledge of their body. I haven't taken an exam in a really long time. I believe it was, 7 years ago that I took my Pilates comprehensive certification. And I don't remember studying as much as I just did for this personal trainer exam, the CPT. I think that personal training covers a much broader field of science. With Pilates, there's certain things that you do. For example, in Pilates, I don't think I've ever seen anybody jump off the floor and then land, right? Or in other words, I've never seen anyone do, say, like a burpee. It's just a very different thing. Sorry, this will be edited out. It's been a very long time since I've taken a written exam, and this was all multiple choice. There are no essay questions. In the workbook there are essay questions, and I truthfully resented that a little bit, but it was good to get my brain going. So it was hard for me. I literally did not know how to study. I thought, if I read the textbook, which by the way is edition 6, it's about this thick, and I felt like I was getting a workout just, putting it on the desk or bring it to the bed or whatever it is, wherever I was reading. It's huge. They combined a lot of things. I think they combined something about exercise science, although a video course. So the book is really thick, and it's dense. It's so packed with information. There's probably not anything in there that you don't need. You will need all that information. It's just intimidating. So because I didn't know how to study, I read through it and I highlighted things, and I was just like, when I go back to read it, then here are all the important things that I need to know. No, I did not have the time to go back over my book. So I actually read it through once, highlighting things, and that is not the way to learn anything. So about halfway through, I decided I needed to do some flashcards. So I went to the store, bought some flashcards, sort of index cards, 4x6, and I started writing things down. That helped a lot. It sounded so stupid, but a friend of mine was just like, Sasha, just get a notebook and just start writing notes. And I don't know why I didn't do that, but it just didn't seem like the right way for me to study. It probably was the right way for me to study. I just didn't know how to study. So that's in itself is hard. How do you best learn things? How do you take notes? I'm talking about book stuff, not kinesthetic stuff, book stuff. How do you take notes? Probably another really good way to learn the material is to apply the material. So if you belong to a gym and you're reading about, ventilatory threshold on a cardio test or something like that, you may want to try that and see what that feels like, so you know if you can talk comfortably, you're not at your threshold 1. And then if you find it harder and harder to talk, where are you on that scale, between 1 and 2, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, those are good things. Those are good things to know if you are a kinesthetic learner. Also, like things like skin fold measurements, that's not something we do in Pilates. So, that it would have behooved me, is that a word, behooved, to have actually gone to a personal trainer and said, hey, can you help me? Can you do skin fold measurements on me? And so I can see what that's like, so I can learn how to do that. And don't believe me when I say I'm not going to jump into taking on clients. I need to learn how to be a personal trainer, right? Anyway, so it's not about me. It is about this exam. It was hard. It was hard. Apparently 1 out of every 3 people fail. And you need to get, 500, right? That's your minimum score. That's 70%. So you have to get 70%. Is that correct? Yes. 800 is your maximum score. Your minimum score is 500. And it's really hard. Don't think that, I'm a Pilates instructor, I know the body, I know how people move, I know how to help people, that you're gonna automatically pass. Hopefully you will, right? But it was very difficult to learn a different format and the things that were necessary in that format. So they recommend, this is ACE, they recommend to take no more than 2 practice tests, because otherwise you are memorizing the question and not learning the material. And if you look at it that way, yes. The way I looked at it, because I did take plenty of practice tests, I actually bought several study packages within the last couple of weeks to help me study more, where I could take practice tests. I took 9, maybe 10 of them in the past 3 weeks. And they really helped me, because when I went back to the answers to see what I'd gotten wrong, there were explanations. And that was an incredible tool. So I highly recommend that. Yes, did I feel like, oh yeah, I remember this question from 4 tests ago. And so I know what the right answer is, but I still wrote down all the things that I got wrong, and I went and studied that, or I could see what I needed to study. And that was incredibly valuable. What else? What else? I don't know. I mean, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it and do it and do it and do it. The important information comes back. It comes back. It comes back. It comes back. Right? So it's not that you have to know everything. You have to know this really, really well. Right? And you have to really be able to figure out these other things, Formulas, I felt, were very helpful to know. As well, knowing fluid intake before exercise, during exercise, after exercise. I thought that was on several questions. Yeah, so the things that I thought were going to be on the test were actually not. And the things that I, didn't think were going to be on the test were. So there was some panic, definitely some sort of panic. I would say no informed consent. That is the assumption of risk. No things like emergency procedures. And go back to some of your CPR notes about what needs to happen in what order. These things are really important, in case you're in that situation, but they're important on the test. Like for example, you see somebody on the floor, you wouldn't just rush over and give them chest compressions, You gotta remember what you need to do, what are the protocols? Is the scene safe, right? And then, even if the scene is safe, you don't just rush over and, breathe into them. You have to see if they're conscious. These things that you forget are gonna come back to you on this test. What else? I think that's it. It was hard. It really was hard. I did it online, so I had to be in like a room with nobody else in it. I cleared the space. The proctor had me clear the desk. I even took off my watch. I didn't think it was a big deal because this is not like, a smart watch or anything like that. But I took it off because I didn't want any hassle. You can't wear like smart glasses if you have them, and I'm not even sure who has them. Things like that. You cannot move from your chair when you're taking an online exam. That if you step off of your chair, fail. They stop the exam. You can't talk. I talk to myself a lot, especially when figuring out like number problems. And I was advised not to talk at all. So it was definitely challenging, but I think it's going to be worth it. I'm very excited to move forward into perhaps you can call it non-traditional personal training. And if you have any questions, please just put them in the comments. Put them in the comments. I'll get back to you somehow. I will, reply. Because this was a really big experience for me. Oh, I should also say I signed up for the exam in January, and I didn't even open my book until March or April. And then I realized, oh my God, I need to just take this exam and stop worrying about it, So I scheduled my exam for June 25th. And so that gave me about 6 weeks to study. Something like that, right? I feel like I had about 6 weeks. And I think for me, that was maybe a week too much worrying from the time I actually started studying to my exam. I think that I got a lot of stuff done in the last 4 weeks. Do I recommend only having 4 weeks? No, I liked the cushion of having 6 weeks or so. So that worked for me. I had a friend who got her materials, let's just say in April, and she took the exam in like May or something like that. But you have to have the time to do it. I did not have a lot of time. I work pretty much full time teaching Pilates and fitness, and my family and stuff like that. Didn't have time. And as well, I'm a day person. At night, my brain pretty much stops working. So I didn't study at night, not very often. It wasn't productive, in other words. So for me, that worked out. 6 weeks worked out. 5 weeks probably would have been ideal. I think it's a great organization. I learned a lot. It has informed my Pilates quite a bit. It has informed the other Les Mills formats or bar, anything like that I teach. And it's really helped me actually encourage my family to think a little bit more seriously about their fitness, right? I've been skinny fat my entire life. And for those of you who don't know what that is, that means that I look fit, but I am not. So this really helped, really helped me think about things, about what I wanted to do and where I wanted my life to go, especially at my age, which is 52. I really need to do a lot more weight resistance exercising. Okay, so I hope this helped you, and